Hello, this is the TradeSide U.S. Stocks, Futures, and Forex Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday, September 17th, 2023, ending Friday the 22nd. Rich is out of town for the next 2 weeks on vacation, so we'll be a little quieter in the lab than normal. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. As you can see, we've been in a very narrow range for a while, but we're near the high of that range, obviously, at this point. We don't have we're close to a 13 cell signal on the daily, but we're not there yet. So we'll keep an eye on that as things progress over the next few days. Here's the pound dollar, which has slipped down. It's basically mid-range for the last 8 months. Here's the euro dollar, usually the inverse of the dollar index, also whatever low end of the range. Here's the pound yen, dead flat. All right, let's look at the stock side, which is obviously more exciting. We're going to stick with half size on Forex for now, because it's still, we're not, usually what we do is we go half size in August because that's when the world takes a break from Forex, and then we pick up our size once we start to see some action. We don't have the action yet, so we'll stick with half size. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form, saying exactly where we were 3 months ago. It was a quarter that did nothing. We just had triple options expiration. If you go from June's triple expiration to the one we just had on Friday, pretty much exactly same price. Didn't change, right? So we tried to go higher, we tried to go lower. Nothing happened. There's no signals, there's no chart patterns, nothing for us to really hang our hat on. Here's the S&P cash. Obviously, it should be basically the same chart, and it is. Nothing here either. NASDAQ 100 also closed basically right where it was 3 months ago on the expiration. Now, that expiration gave us a 13 cell signal that didn't really do much. We don't have any counts going on right now. The Russell 2000 is actually 10 down, so we're getting towards a buy signal in the Russell, which is mid-range for the last 8 months, and not much going on there. Where the story gets a little sticky, obviously, is crude oil, which finally broke out of its range and now hits 90. So oil prices on the rise with the cuts that the Saudis made and everything like that. So they're squeezing us a bit at the pump. And here's gold, I would say in the lower 25% of its usual range. All right, what else? We've got, let's go with this one first. Bitcoin, as we always like to track, just for fun, 26,500 or so. This thing's been very flat for the last, it's exactly where it was 6 months ago. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, near the lows, heading lower, bonds down, rates up, as they say. So we're seeing that action here. The VIX closes very low. We have no volatility. This is why the markets are so boring for us as traders. Summer doldrums are not ended usually when you think they would. But if you think about it here, look at this chart. We actually got to the lowest point we've been all summer on Thursday and Friday. So that's not great. We got the advanced decline ratio on the New York sitting at negative 942 on Friday, but it was both ways throughout the week. Here's the trend. We like to look at this. Closes the session at 0.88. The 10-day moving average is the orange line. It is around 0.94. It is not below the 0.85, which would be a sell signal on the broad market. So no information here as well. Here's the week and 10-minute candles on the ES. So as you can see, last Friday on the far left, and then we gapped up. Now 9/11 was Monday. That's usually a boring day. Gapped up and closed where we opened. That's kind of common. Tuesday gapped down and went a little bit lower. Wednesday dead flat all day long. So the whole first part of the week was a waste. Thursday you gap up and pushed a little bit higher. Friday you gap down and pushed a little bit lower. And the net for the week is that we lost 10 points. And we were basically at 13 points. So we basically were in a very narrow range for the whole week. So this is just not exciting. The NASDAQ side, here's the NQ futures. Looks very similar, obviously, to that. All right, in terms of some of the key stocks we like to watch, Apple here, no patterns, no counts. It's down a bit. Amazon's made new highs at one point this week, but no counts. Meta came close to highs, but no counts. Google is at highs, but no counts. Goldman Sachs, it was near a buy signal, but that's only got to 11, not 13. So nothing there either, and then it curled up. Netflix, new lows for the last 3 months. This one's kind of notable from that perspective. Tesla, there's a cup here breaking out into that gap. That could be an interesting trade. We'll see about that on Monday or Tuesday. NVIDIA, dead flat for the last couple of months, near the highs at one point. Zoom, not much going on here. So that is the tail of the tape, as they like to call it. In terms of economic data coming out this week, we have bank holiday in Japan to start the week. We've got housing starts out of Canada Monday morning. U.S. has our housing market index at 10 a.m. That's it for Monday. Tuesday, Canada's got their CPI. We've got housing starts and building permits here in the U.S. at 8:30 a.m. Current account out of New Zealand, trade balance out of Japan. Wednesday, we've got the CPI out of the UK, PPI out of the UK, Swiss SECO economic forecast numbers. We've got the Fed funds rate. We got a Fed rate announcement. Okay, so the rate, we have a Fed meeting this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that'll slow us down a bit again. We're past the triple expiration. We're past summer. We should have a chance to get moving, but again, everybody's going to be watching the Fed. Nobody expects a rate hike out of this, but it's always the comments that matter the most. So you got the rate announcement Wednesday at 2, and you've got the comments at 2:30. Thursday, weekly initial and continuing jobless. Oh, we have crude oil inventories on Wednesday too. Thursday, weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, Philly Fed and current account at 8:30. Consumer confidence out of Europe at 10 a.m. Existing home sales here in the U.S. Along with the CB leading index also at 10. Natty gas at 10:30. And then Friday, just the flash manufacturer PMI numbers. So the big thing this week is obviously going to be looking at that Fed meeting and seeing what that turns into, if that does anything to the markets. And obviously we're waiting for some kind of break-free moment in terms of everything else that's going on. So now that we're at a certain point in time, we'll see how this goes. Charts, as usual, brought to you by NinjaTrader. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.